You're warned. Prince Harry found himself in a state of confusion as an Army veteran forced him to step down from the Invictus Games in Vancouver Whistler 2025. The Invictus Games, founded by Prince Harry in 2014, have always symbolized hope and inspiration for wounded, injured, and sick service members and veterans. However, the 2025 edition, set to take place in Vancouver and Whistler, Canada, has been marred by controversy due to a surprising turn of events involving its founder. Before we continue, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more updates. It was supposed to be a celebratory return for Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, as he came back to Canada to host the Invictus Games. But just weeks before the opening ceremony, he found himself in a fierce conflict with a decorated Army veteran, putting the future of the Games in jeopardy. The trouble began when former Canadian Army Master Corporal David Buchanan, a double amputee and Invictus Games medalist, publicly raised concerns about the event's organization and accessibility. Buchanan, who had participated in previous Invictus Games, argued that the Vancouver Whistler venue was unsuitable for many disabled athletes due to inadequate infrastructure and transportation services. These games are supposed to be about empowering wounded warriors and showcasing their resilience, Buchanan said in a scathing interview. But the way the 2025 Invictus Games are being planned, it's clear that the organizers are more concerned with putting on a flashy, media-friendly event than ensuring true accessibility and inclusivity. Buchanan's comments quickly gained traction, sparking a heated debate within the veteran community and the general public. Many supported the outspoken veteran, applauding his willingness to hold the Invictus Games organizers accountable. However, Prince Harry, who had poured his heart and soul into creating the Invictus Games, was not pleased. The Duke, known for his fiery temper, lashed out at Buchanan, accusing him of undermining the event's mission and tarnishing its legacy. Master Corporal Buchanan's comments are nothing more than the uninformed ramblings of a disgruntled individual, the prince said in a scathing statement. The Invictus Games have always been about the athletes, and we have worked tirelessly to ensure that the 2025 edition will be the most accessible and inclusive yet. The war of words quickly escalated, with Buchanan doubling down on his criticism and Prince Harry refusing to back down. The tension reached a breaking point when Buchanan announced that he would not participate in the 2025 Invictus Games, citing the organizers' complete disregard for the needs of disabled athletes. The news sent shockwaves through the veteran community, with many expressing their support for Buchanan and their disappointment in Prince Harry's handling of the situation. Suddenly, the Invictus Games, a symbol of unity and resilience, had become a source of division and controversy. As the standoff continued, the Invictus Games organizers found themselves in a precarious position, with one of the event's most prominent athletes refusing to participate and the public growing increasingly critical of the prince's response. The future of the Games hung in the balance. Behind the scenes, frantic efforts were made to resolve the crisis. Prince Harry was reportedly urged by his aides to extend an olive branch to Buchanan, but to no avail. The Duke remained adamant in his defense of the Games organization, unwilling to concede to the veterans' demands. The situation reached a critical point when Buchanan, in a bold move, announced that he would stage a protest outside the Invictus Games opening ceremony, vowing to expose the truth about the event's lack of accessibility. With tensions at an all-time high, the eyes of the world turned to Vancouver and Whistler as the stage was set for a dramatic showdown between the royal and the veteran. As the opening ceremony approached, the fate of the 2025 Invictus Games hung in the balance. Would Prince Harry finally concede to Buchanan's demands, or would the Duke's stubbornness lead to the unthinkable, the collapse of the very event he had worked so hard to build? The world waited with bated breath, wondering if the Invictus Games, a symbol of hope and resilience, would survive this unprecedented crisis. Only time would tell if the Duke and the veteran could put aside their differences for the greater good of the wounded warriors they both claimed to champion.